Hey guys, welcome back to the JMR YouTube channel. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All you old guys out there are laughing at that right now. The young guys are like, what the hell is he talking about? All right, so you may notice I got the NAS cart behind me here. She's down for the count right now. Fuel cell took a big, the foam disintegrated. See, like we talked about last time, the fuel cell foam has deteriorated. These are in like little blocks. The bladder had a split in it. Just a hot mess. I'm surprised we got this thing around Darlington as well as we did. But it's on the comeback trail. Got some parts ordered and she'll be up and running again in no time. But today, we're going to talk about doing cheap wiring the right way. Now I know you guys know what these are. You know, these are these little cheap connectors that you can buy at any truck stop or parts place or whatever. And these are okay for, you know, if you're broken down the side of the road and you got to make something happen, that's fine. But as far as wiring up your daily driver, your drift car, your race car, whatever, if you don't have the big bucks to go out and buy all the fancy wiring stuff, I'm going to show you today how to do it on the cheap. Now a lot of guys hate wiring. I happen to love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm not sure why, but it is. So normally, you know, when you get one of these things, you'll cut your wire, you'll strip your wire, you know, normal stuff. You'll put your little connector on it with the little plastic piece on it. And you got your goofy little crimps here. And you'll crimp that. And like I said, that's good enough to get you off the side of the road, get you home. But I mean, it's wide open in the back. It's actually not a very good crimp. This thing can jiggle loose, let moisture in there. Anyway, don't do that shit. Okay, so a better way to do it is get yourself some wire. And look, this is all cheap stuff. I mean, I got really nice wiring equipment, but I just dug out all my cheap stuff today to show you guys how to do this on the budget. So these are literally some wire strippers. These are from Snap-on, even though they're old as dirt. They're not great. I actually have a better pair, but these are kind of common. You can get these about anywhere. These came from Harbor Freight. These are some real El Cheapos. Biggest thing is to line up the right gauge of wire with the right hole, and then you're good to go. I mean, they work pretty good when they're new. Okay guys, so I know what you're saying to yourself. Hey, wait a minute. That's not where that cracker was a second ago. And you're right. The way I had my, I was using my phone to film all this. The way I had it set up just outside the garage door, the sun was on it. It got too hot and cut off the video. So I'm not a professional camera guy. I do apologize for that, but look, I'm a guy that builds stuff and makes shit go fast. I am in no way, shape, or form a qualified camera person. You know, we're just here doing these things the best we can and hoping that you're enjoying them. Your second question might be, well, if it's that warm out there, why's that cracker wearing a hoodie? It's called branding, boys and girls, branding. And I'll be getting out of this hoodie just as quick as this video's over. Okay, so I think where we left off was we had a piece of okay, so I think where we left off was we had our piece of wire here crimped. Let's go ahead and get back to that point. And like I was saying before, I mean, you need a decent pair of strippers, but you don't spend a bunch of money. I think these were $2, $3, $4, something like that. These are Harbor Freight guys. These came off a tool truck. Anyway. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get one of our little cheap plastic connectors here. But the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the cheap plastic. So get you something that you can really grab the nose of it with so it doesn't bend it. Get yourself something else so you can get a hold of the plastic but not cut it, and just give it a little twist. Well, I cut it, didn't I? Yeah, a little twist. It's gone. Okay, so now what we have is a non-insulated connector, which, by the way, this is how we buy ours. We buy ours in bulk and they're non-insulated, but there again, this video is about doing it on the cheap. You can get a pack of these little, you know, cheap, pack of these little cheap connectors right here. $5-6 at the parts store or whatever. So, then what you want to do is you want to find yourself we use pretty decent heat shrink on all of our stuff, nothing crazy, but pretty decent stuff. It's a little better than this, but it's all about doing it on the cheap. Then what you would do is cut your little piece of heat shrink, slide it on your wire before your connector, and then you get your connector. And you slide it on just like so. Now, if you're gonna spend any money anywhere, this is where you really spend it. Get yourself the best crimpers that you can. Now, they don't have to be crazy money. I think these were $25 or $35, something like that. I think these are Klein's. But you want some, you don't want the ones that have the little squares in them there. You want the ones that have the little tip in it, right there. That's what you need for non-insulated stuff. Okay, also too, there is a split on this little connector. You probably can't see it too far away, but trust me, it's there. That's going to go on the opposite side of that little tip. So, okay, we slide all this back together. We get our tool. We line up. Everything like we want it, and just give her a squeeze. Pretty simple. And as you can, maybe see or not see, there's a dimple on the back side of this. The front of it's nice and tight like it should be. That's a really good connection. It's not going anywhere. Now, I didn't slide another piece of heat shrink on this because honestly, I didn't have any that size in this cheap stuff anymore. But through the magic of video, this is the side that I did before the camera went off, and it was all said and done. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. The heat shrink is nice and shrunk up to it. This should keep most of the moisture out of it, dirt, anything like that. It's a good solid connection. It's not going anywhere. Now I know a lot of you guys out there say, well, man, you gotta solder everything. Well, solder has its place, but if you don't have the proper equipment to solder, or you're not that proficient at it, then this is a way better way to go. This is way stronger than a poor solder job. And quite honestly, we solder very little bit of stuff here. I mean, very little, and we have almost zero wiring issues, thank goodness. Now, what I used to shrink that with, normally we would use a heat gun or something on that line, but hey, if you don't have any of that, hey, look, get your wife's little candle lighter, slowly pass it around that heat shrink, and it'll suck it right up on there. Just keep it moving, don't let it get too hot. It'll suck right up on there, it'll do a good job. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, wiring is one of my favorite things. I know a lot of guys hate it, so I want to do this little video just to kind of show you how easy it can be, and with just a little bit of effort and some thinking and just a couple of really cheap tools, you can do a quality wiring job on the cheap. I mean, if you break it down, we probably have 1 or 2 cents in that little connector, 1 or 2 cents in that piece of heat shrink. So it's actually very inexpensive to do. You can spend a lot of money on wiring, and we have in the past, but this is a really good, inexpensive way for you to wire, your daily, your drift car, your race car, your haul truck, your trailer, whatever. That'll do a good job for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.